Today is another horror prompt, so let's find out what we are going to be doing today. So this was the last one, Blood and Guts. It was a very, very gory. I loved it. This one is There Is Something in Your Hair. Something in your hair. So I'm just drawing the first thing that comes into my mind is like, oh shit, she's got a long neck. Then there's like things attached to the ends of her hair. Oh, I just drew love hearts. What was I thinking? Maybe something like really weird hanging off the ends of her hair, maybe. There is something in your hair. There is something in your hair. Maybe there's like someone whose head is being tilted, and maybe her hair is like made of like, we'll just do something like maybe snakes, like a Medusa type thing. Oh, I do like that idea. So you have something like that maybe. Yeah, like do like a new age sort of Medusa type creation there, maybe. Maybe even maybe something like a hand on her head. So I've decided I'm going to like do some sort of female, I think. Maybe something like that, and it's like, it's kind of like in her hair, like maybe her hair is like wrapped around this hand that's like dug into her, you know, her scalp. God, I'm getting a lot of ideas here. I do like this one. We have like a bunch of hair, and maybe there's like weird things coming out from behind some of the hair. Like there could be like some sort of like creepy faces, or you know, something like that. I don't know. Like this one is definitely sort of generating a lot of ideas for me. I think I like this idea, but I think I'm going to, in the future, do something with this one that's a little bit different to what I want to do in this horror series. So that one's my favorite, but I've got plans. I've just had like this thought of plans for this one in another way. So I'm sort of like, I like this idea. I don't like this one, like after I've drawn these two. This one's not too bad. Like you got like a severed hand on the head that's dug into her scalp, and then like the hairs around it. I am sort of feeling like this way, where like there is like she's standing there, and not standing there, but you know what I mean. There's like things coming out of her hair, maybe like other faces, or like creepy little monster faces, or monster body parts, maybe something in this direction. So yeah, I'm sort of thinking this way, I reckon. So yeah, I think I'll go off and let's refine this idea a little more. This one was so much fun to do. I really had a lot of ideas rolling around in my head for this one. And when I was doing the sketch process at the beginning of this video, as you saw, once I sort of had a little bit of a break and sort of thought about it, I had so many things sort of flowing, and it was probably the reason why I think this one sort of came to me a little bit easier is I had a little bit of a break from drawing, and I've noticed that once I do have a bit of a break from drawing, I seem to be a bit more refreshed and things sort of seem to work out for me. So that's why I'm sort of really enjoyed working on this one and designing this one. So in this final piece, I ended up adding quite a bit of sort of different stuff to this. And one of the things that I ended up adding was all these stitches and this creepy mouth and these really to me they look really irritated, like really irritated eyes. I was actually really happy with the eyes that I did for this. There's some of my best work, I reckon. I don't know what you think, but yeah, I do like the way that I did these, and the way that I imagined them in my head. Really, finally something actually came out of my head that I really wanted to portray, and it came out exactly on paper. So yeah, I do really like these eyes. They're nothing fancy, they're nothing detailed, they're just horrible. They look like irritated, horrible eyes. So the whole story for this illustration today is this monster woman, and that's what she is. She's like this hybrid thing, and there is this kind of like demon that is a part of her, and it sort of comes out of her head. And whether it was there since birth, or as you can see from the stitches on her head, it may have been there, put there, I mean, by some sort of like, you know, Frankenstein kind of like doctor. Let your imagination run wild. And yeah, this thing likes to pop out of from underneath her hair, and either like just like, you know, like a party trick, like, hey, imagine that. But yeah, it's kind of like she can have this thing like just pop out at any time. Doesn't really matter what's going on, this thing will just pop out. And then like the look on her face is just like, yeah, I've got this thing, it's attached to me. It's a part of me. There's nothing that I can really do about it. So yeah, so this thing is just like crawling out of her hair, and it's got I don't know if they're like, we'll say like leg type things, where they've like been pushed into her mouth, and they're kind of like, it really is like a part of her. It's like this, like these, I don't know, tentacles has sort of like gone into her mouth, and the tail, this thing's tail's wrapped around her neck, and it's got these really long, creepy arms. So you've got this one hand that's up over the right side of her hair, and it's coming out of her left side, like it's just peering around from her hair, just going, hey, I'm here, look at me, I'm frightening, I'm creepy as hell. And yeah, and then she gets like people that say, there's something in your hair, and she's like, I know, it's there, basically. So the color, I decided on painting her. Honestly, I couldn't really decide. I just went for it, and I don't usually have a lot of planning when it comes to the colors. I just dive in and hope for the best. And yeah, I've mentioned that probably ages ago in my videos, probably a good year or so or more, probably a year and a half ago, since I've been uploading these YouTube videos, and nothing's changed. I still do not plan this stuff. I just jump in, and hope for the best. And sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. And I'm honestly not going to change. I like to just do that. It's kind of like a little bit exciting. I don't know why, like it just is, like when I don't have a plan, like it doesn't stress me out. It kind of just, I don't know, it's just, I just like to just wing it and see how the outcome just comes out with the colors. And sometimes I get the colors wrong. Like if you look back in some of my past videos, some of the color choices, I don't know where my head was at. But as I've gotten on in the years, I usually get it right. Sometimes I don't. But, you know, I'm not going to go and learn colour theory because I don't care. If it works, it works. If it doesn't, I move on. So that's my philosophy in art. So she really does have like this witchy, like corpse look to her. And that's really what I wanted. I just wanted this sort of fright and this horrid kind of look. And I do feel as though I captured that with this piece. And yeah, could you imagine this thing being attached to you somehow in the back of your head or somewhere on your head, and it never leaves you alone because it's there and it's pops out at inappropriate times and frightens people, or yeah, just the thought of that, like this thing's popping into my head right now of this story that I remember reading about Edward Mordrake. And he was like, it's like an urban legend, and this guy apparently had like this face in the back of his head and it used to whisper to him, and he only got to the age of like 22 and he killed himself because this thing was just like whispering in his head like to kill himself all the time. And that story, I don't know, I don't care if it's fake or not, that is some spine-tingling shit right there. Like, I remember when I first heard this story and it was sort of portrayed that it was real, it kind of made me sick a bit. Like, I could just imagine this face in the back of my head whispering things to me. Ugh. But anyway, that is my my final illustration. I hope you enjoyed this piece, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.